What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode. And today I'm going to be talking about my beef with smartphone cameras and why you shouldn't upgrade your smartphone. Let's get into it. Every year around this time of the year, YouTubers and tech reporters lose their freaking minds over the latest smartphones. From the likes of Apple, Samsung and Google. For the past 3 or 4 years, I'd say the only thing worth talking about when it comes to smartphone is the camera. To me, I don't get it. I don't understand why so many people give a shit about the camera on their phone, because to me, these smartphone cameras are overly engineered pieces of tech that were built for no one, and anyone who buys them either has no idea what they're buying and or has too much money. I'm amazed by what smartphone cameras are capable of. The image quality is insane. In good lighting, you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference between a photo that was taken with a DSLR and with an iPhone. Yes, I have watched all the DSLR smartphone comparison videos. My beef is that if you already have a smartphone camera that's like at least an iPhone 7, there's absolutely no logical reason as to why you should upgrade. If your phone's really slow because Apple has updated your phone to death, or it has water damage, then fine, replace it with something like the iPhone 8. But upgrading your phone because you want a better camera is one of the most misinformed tech purchases you could make today. Firstly, no one in the history of human civilization has ever said in normal everyday life, the max aperture of f1.7 has made my avocado on toast look so good. YouTube gear reviewers list out the marginally improved specs of each new generation of smartphone cameras like they matter. First of all, the only people who understand, much less care about things like max aperture, what image format it shoots, whether the zoom is optical or digital, whether it shoots in 4K and what frame rates it shoots at, so on and so forth, are camera nerds like you and me, not the average Joe Schmo on the street at whom smartphones are generally targeted. Now, if you're a camera nerd who genuinely cares about getting the best specs, then you wouldn't be purchasing a smartphone camera altogether. Chances are you already have a DSLR or mirrorless camera that's way better than any smartphone camera. So why would you then spend another grand on something that does the exact same thing, if not worse? This is what I mean about smartphone cameras being over-engineered pieces of tech that were built for no one. But wait, let's say you're an aspiring photographer slash videographer and you don't have tons of money to splash on expensive camera bodies, lenses, gimbals, lights. You don't care about megapixels. You couldn't give a monkey's ass about dynamic range. You think bokeh is the hottest band in K-pop at the moment. You're an artist and all you want to do is create. You don't need a Sony A9. You don't need a Canon EOS R. You just need something with which to capture photo and video. If that's the case, the smartphone you already have in your hand right now will do. If you want to make video as well, get a smartphone gimbal and get cracking. You do not need to upgrade to the iPhone 11 Pro or Pixel 3 or whatever other flagship smartphone. The image quality from the iPhone 7 is good enough. However, I'm going to contradict myself here. My other gripe is with this very notion that all you need is a smartphone to create. I'm sorry, Casey. Whilst that is completely true in theory, I would highly disagree in practice. To really excel as a visual artist, to become a master of photography, to create beautiful documentaries and movies, whatever, you need to practice a lot. You need to be creating every single day. Henri Cartier-Bresson famously said, your first 10,000 photos are your worst. If I'm being completely honest, I don't think your smartphone camera is a camera that will inspire you to take photos. You 1000% could learn, the basics. You could learn composure, exposure, and so on with a smartphone. 100% you could, but do I think you would? Of course, I'm speaking for myself here, but I think many of you would agree with me. I don't see this as a tool that will motivate me to take 10,000 photos. At the end of the day, this is still my phone. Its primary tool for me is to stay connected with my friends and family and to watch YouTube videos whilst I'm on the toilet. I know many people might disagree and say, no, if I just upgrade my phone, I'll have a better camera and I'll become the first smartphone magnum photographer. People will hardly believe that they were taken with a phone. For one, most of the time, people can tell that they were taken with a phone. But two, if you've been in the world of camera gear for even a little bit, you will know of gas. Part of having gas is knowing that just because you buy a piece of gear, even with the best of intentions, it doesn't mean you'll use it. Rhino slider, £400. I was convinced I was going to make the butteriest B-roll sequences. Now it collects dust on my shelf. I had the Canon F1. I wanted to own a piece of camera history. It was quite cumbersome to use. The shutter speed dial was really awkwardly placed on the top, and I realized that in terms of image quality, it produced the exact same as my Canon A1, so I sold it. The Olympus XA, I was convinced I was going to become a stealthy ninja, street photography ninja with its super tiny pocketable form factor. In reality, the viewfinder was way too small, the focusing patch was way too dim, it was a total pain to focus, and only after a few months of using it, I sold it. The GoPro Hero 6, only used it 2 or 3 times. I realized I don't live a life of jumping off of waterfalls and trekking through mountain ranges. It was losing value and gathering dust, so I sold it. Moment lenses. I had ambitions of creating epic videos with my phone like they do on Moment, so I bought the DJI Osmo Mobile and the Moment Wide, the Superfish and the Tele. I only ever used the Tele lens for post-gym selfies. Sold all 3 lenses and the gimbal. I think you get my point. If you're an aspiring visual artist, I would say spend the money you would have spent on a new smartphone camera and get an entry-level DSLR or mirrorless, some cheap vintage lenses. Vintage lenses are incredible, or something like a Canon Nifty 50, a memory card, and go crazy. Shoot like crazy. Find a camera that speaks to you. You need to find a camera that works within your budget, that makes you feel something inside, that gets you excited and makes you want to pick it up and go outside or inside and makes you want to create art. That is what truly matters when it comes to your gear. I just in my heart of hearts don't see smartphones as being that tool. Only upgrade your gear when you find your ambitions and technical ability outgrow your current gear. So who are these flagship phones actually for? There are some exceptions, I must say. Camera gear reviewers, they actually make money from buying and reviewing smartphones. So for them, it makes sense to buy them. Vloggers and YouTube newbies who don't already have an iPhone 7 or better, who just want the convenience of a pocketable camera and aren't too fussed about having the best image and audio quality. The image stabilization on the iPhone 11 Pro, from the looks of things, look really impressive. So you can just film everything handheld, no problem. I'm not saying that you can't take great images and video with a smartphone. I've taken photos that I absolutely love with my iPhone 8. I follow a few insane photographers on Instagram who shoot only iPhone. My point is that if you're looking to really take photography and videography really seriously, you shouldn't upgrade your smartphone if you already have one. And if you don't have a smartphone and can't afford a new one, you should look to secondhand DSLRs and mirrorless cameras and vintage lenses and start upgrading your gear as and when your skills and budget grow. If you're a professional photographer, can you imagine showing up to a paid professional client shoot and whipping out your phone? Anyway, guys, that's about it. Rant over. That's a video. Do you think there's any sense in ever upgrading your smartphone? Do you think I'm talking a load of shite? Can you think of anyone else for whom the iPhone 11 Pro might be perfect? Let me know down in the comments. Like the video if you like the video, share this with your mum, share this with your dad, and guys, as I said before, there are plenty more videos to come. Subscribe if you haven't already. Why haven't you subscribed? Follow me on Instagram at ZaneShootsFilm. Check out my portfolio, ZaneReza.com. And with all that said and done, guys, keep learning, keep shooting, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.